Hello there, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I'm a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakube. And last year we have released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes the album unique is that it's a pretty heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out two of the singles on my YouTube channel, the studio live take of A Way to Oppose and We're Building Our Own Monument.
Open your eyes and take a look at our society. We modernize despite our decay of morality. How many more signs do we need?
And in the description of both videos you will find all the information about where's the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via an email or Instagram or Facebook. And today I'm going to talk about a new album from the Tobias Summit's Avantasia called Moonglow.
Music review. Music review.
When it comes to the Tobias Summit, I'm personally considering him to be one of the best songwriters ever. That guy is a genius. I'm a huge fan, as you can see on this photo. I have almost everything that he released within Edguy or Avantasia. And I've even seen them live, like I think 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember I was a bit concerned because the show was about to take 3 hours and I was like, oh my god, 3 hours. But at the end of the show I was like, whoa, that was 3 hours, and I'm about to see them again in a couple of weeks, so I can't wait. I mean, seeing and hearing Jon Lande, Michael Kiske and Bob Cayley on one stage, that's, for any singer, that's a wet dream come true. At this point I think we all know what to expect from Toby in terms of songwriting, and I remember that 3 years ago when Ghost Lights came out, I was totally blown away by that album, by how colorful it was, by the guest ensemble and everything, you know, it was really great. So when it comes to the new album, I would be honest, it is, like for example the first track, Ghost in the Moon, which is almost 9 minutes long, and this is one of the 2 songs where Toby sings alone. This is pretty much everything Toby stands for as a songwriter, this song. It's very bombastic, it's very epic, you've got these moments to make you feel small. And even though even in this song, there are some moments and some parts where you will definitely feel that you have heard it before within Avantasia or Edguy. If you are like me and you are really familiar with his work, you will have this feeling quite often throughout this record, that I've heard this verse before, I've heard that chorus before, or something like that. But at the same time, there are still these moments that give me goosebumps, and this is what I essentially love about Avantasia, that Tobias is still able to deliver. As I've already said, this is one of the very few songs where Toby sings alone. When it comes to his voice, it's a very acquired taste. Toby's voice may not be everyone's cup of tea, but the stuff he's singing is very difficult and he's still pretty impressive. So the Book of Silence is a bit heavier song. It's still the same traditional Avantasia epic song, but it's slightly more on the heavier side. We have Hansi Kursch here, which is the first time we have Hansi Kursch, I'm not sure how he's pronounced, from Blind Guardian, and this guy has phenomenal voice. I really love his voice. It just reminds me immediately of fantasy-oriented metal music, and putting him on this record was a great move. Also then we have Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Mates and Jon Lande, and we also have Petroza, who is from Creator, and this is more of an extreme singing, and it just kind of made me think that, is there some future in Avantasia with extreme vocalists? Probably not, because Tobias and Avantasia stands for melodies, but I think it's a nice addition. In the middle of the song there's a bit of a drastic change where we hear this riff just for the song to be able to get a bit heavier. I just kind of wish the whole song was like that, because then it will stand apart a little more, in my opinion. Then we have Moonglow. This is more of a poppy song. This was also one of the first singles from the album, and this sounds exactly like Annette Olsen fronted Nightwish. And in a way this is a very traditional song that you would expect from Toby, but the chorus is fantastic. This is the only track that has female guest vocalist, Candid Night. This chorus is just so catchy, and this is again what I've been talking about before. Toby delivers. Child is over 11 minutes long, and I like how Toby described this album as being the most complex record he has ever done. He pretty much describes every record he ever released ever since, like Hellfire Club, that it's the best thing he has ever worked on. One of the things he mentioned with the new album was that there are going to be some Celtic and folk influences, and this is exactly in the Raven Child, and this is what makes the song really stand apart. It reminds me a lot of the song The Scarecrow from the third Avantasia album, especially that bridge towards the end when we hear Jorn Lande just singing his guts off. And it's very similar in terms of melody, in terms of delivery from the singers. It's again between Jorn Lande and Tobias Sammet. And it maybe reminds me a little bit of the song Carry On My Wayward Son from Kansas, especially in the bridge. It's a very epic song. I absolutely love the choir that we can hear. It's a bit messy in terms of lyrics, like I don't think you can get all the words that the choir is singing without the lyric sheet, but it sounds amazing. It's so powerful and epic, and I just wish there were more moments like that on the record. And it's really amazing how the choir continues into the second chorus, and thus it serves as a sort of a climax of the song. Not to mention that Jorn Lande is just a beast. I mean, seriously, that guy is one of the best singers on the planet, and Michael Kiske is another one, so it's pretty cool to have both of these singers with Geoff Tate as well on this record, and Bob Cayley. Then we have Starlight, which is a classical, uplifting, big Avantasia song, just what you would expect from Avantasia, nothing less, nothing more. Then Invincible is a very dark piano-based ballad with Geoff Tate, and oh my god, Geoff Tate sounds amazing on this album. I think that his voice has been a bit worn out in like last 15 years, which might have been a result of him not practicing or whatever, but on this album he sounds like from the Promised Land era of Queensryche, and that's, in my opinion, where he was at the top of his game. He sounds amazing. There are some orchestral arrangements in this song that give it a bit of a fantasy-like atmosphere, and actually it reminds me a little bit of the song Anywhere from the Metal Opera 2. There's one more song with Geoff Tate called Alchemy, which has a very soundtrack-like beginning. It's again on the heavier side of the Avantasia. When I was listening to the Ghost Lights and I've read that Geoff Tate was to make his first appearance on Avantasia album, I was pretty excited, and when we heard about all the singers that were about to reprise their roles for the new Avantasia albums, or for this one, like Michael Kiske and also Geoff Tate, I really got excited because Geoff Tate and Michael Kiske were so many times compared. There are so many debates about how much they are undistinguishable from each other, and especially in their higher ranged focused music like the early Queensryche stuff and the Keeper of the Seven Keys records from Halloween. There are just moments where you would be almost unable to tell them apart. And how cool would it be to have them finally singing together in a song? Unfortunately, there is no song like that on this album. I'm not sure if it's because one of the singers said let's not do it, or if they just simply didn't get to it, but I think it would have been pretty cool. What you think? You can let me know in the comment section below. Geoff Tate is really great in this song. I like that he even uses a bit of a drive on his voice, because he's generally known for a pretty clear voice, and he sometimes almost like screams in this song. It's really great. A phenomenal singer. Chorus is again pretty typical Avantasia chorus. I mean, I like it. The biggest song in terms of the guest appearances is The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, which has the same title as the first album from Pink Floyd. And we have Ronnie Atkins, Jorn Lande, later Eric Martin, Bob Cayley, Geoff Tate in this song. I think the chorus sounds a bit like the song State of Matter from, I think, Wicked Symphony record. Then we have Lavender song with Bob Cayley. I mean, this singer, he's such a class act. I love his voice. So this is again very uplifting, bombastic song, kind of in the style of The Story Ain't Over. It's a solid track, kind of to put a smile on your face.
Vivid memories roll and spin. If only they would suck me in. Going up like firing, just a blink between the dream and the memories at the embers of what we hoped it all would be. Breathing odor of lavender, and it's all coming.
Then finally, towards the end of the record, we have the phenomenal Michael Kiske. We have a song called Requiem for a Dream, which has a very symphonic beginning, but eventually transforms into a traditional speed metal song a la Avantasia. It almost seems like an Avantasia record wouldn't be complete without a song like that. A bridge again sounds like something we might have heard from Toby already. It's a standard speed metal Avantasia track, nothing more, nothing less, which I kind of feel sorry for, because Michael Kiske is just such a versatile singer, and I would personally like to hear him more often, because that guy can sing anything. My personal dream, to hear him sing Queen. I just can't imagine that. So, but anyway, there's one part in this song where Michael's voice seems to be a bit challenged, and that part is awesome. I really like it. There's a song called Maniac, which is a cover, and it is a great song. The Avantasia version is also fantastic. It's a duet between Tobias Sammet and Eric Martin. The question is why? I don't really understand the cover on this album. I mean, it's the same as the song Rock Me Amadeus on the final record from Edguy, Space Police. I mean, like, great songs, but why? And there's one more track, a bonus track called Heart, which is another typical Avantasia track. So when it comes to the lyrics, most of the lyrics have very descriptive character. They remind me a lot of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, so they are sort of like to paint a picture, put you in a place, not necessarily to give you too much to think about. I won't talk about production or musicianship, because with a project like Avantasia, you know, how bad can it get? It's pretty much top-notch. So to sum up, I like this album, I enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep listening to it. I think the Ghost Lights for me was a bit better because it was more colorful and more versatile, but Tobias still keeps delivering. I mean, the record tends to get a little formulaic quite often, but since like 1997, Tobias released 18 studio albums with Edguy and Avantasia, and he pretty much wrote like 99.9% of all that music, so it's just natural that the music gets a bit formulaic every now and then. But still, the guy is a phenomenal songwriter. He's a great singer. I appreciate him a lot. So if you're a fan of Avantasia, there's no way you're not gonna enjoy this record. I think you're gonna dig it. At least what I liked about it. If you are not a fan of Avantasia, then you should become one, and you should go into their discography. Have you heard the new album already? Do you like it? You can let me know in the comment section below. You can also let me know how well do you think it compares to their other records. Maybe which is your favorite Tobias Sammet's written album, whether it's something from Edgar or Avantasia. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description of this video below. If you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews on my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching. I guess this was a pretty enthusiastic review.